Pals for Life.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Pals for Life. Pals for Life is weekly radio for anyone who wants to enjoy World of Warcraft with some extra pals. We've got your commentary on news, tips, rumors, and a special segment we like to call The Boss Fight. Today is September 14th, 2014. My name is Wilson, and I'm joined today by Randall. How are you?
What's up, guys?
And Lane, how's Destiny?
It's underrated.
Ooh. Well, unfortunately, Nano is unable to join us tonight. In his place will be his spirit, standing silently.
He only gets the gnome spirit, though, since he's not here. We gotta degrade it a little.
Just like you gave to me. Man, that's cold.
Well, you're a dead gnome spirit. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm dead now. Dang, I'm in a gutter and I'm dead, man.
Yeah.
Ishmael gets the good stuff and he's not even here. Come on.
Gnomes are always getting punted on this show.
Yeah, except my gnome. But that's different.
Yeah, that's different. We know it is.
Well, he will likely be back in action next week, but we've got a change in formatting this week. In order to streamline our show and to hit our target of about 30 minutes per episode, we've removed the big game topic and replaced it with just the boss fight coming right after the Spellbreaker topic. So let's jump right into this. Our Spellbreaker topic is the third installment of Lords of War, Durotan. Randall, you want to take it away with some of your first impressions?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very cool video. Much more mild than the other ones. It's just because all the other orcs are just so hard, right? I mean, they are crazy. They're like killing people, chopping people's heads off, like all this crazy stuff, right? And then you have this, like, you know, pretty mild, like almost the gray, like reincarnate type video, you know? So it's cool. I like it. It's cool to know that there are orcs that just aren't completely like bloodthirsty. I think everyone just wants to see more like brutal videos.
You know, to me, actually, speaking sort of off of what you just said, Durotan in his younger years looks a lot different than other orcs to me. He has a, you know, like a more slender body and stuff like that lends him to not necessarily being like a savage like other orcs. And that could be intentional or not, but it looks interesting from the artistic standpoint, how he's kind of this taller, more slender dude. Yeah, I like this one a lot because it is a break from this guy was trapped, he killed everyone, and then suddenly he was a warlord. It's sort of that same vein, but it's a little different, and it's got a sort of emotional story about how he's not a total jerk. And I really don't know anything about Durotan, so that automatically makes me respect him a little bit more, because he's the rational thinker, which is good.
Going off of what you said, I definitely agree. There's some great character design going on with younger Durotan. And Randall, going back to kind of what you said, you know, that this is a warlord that didn't have crazy amount of violence fueling him. It's still ironic, tragically and beautifully so, how this warlord's video ends with him entering Bloodlust.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, essentially.
Oh, that sucks.
It's cool they ended it, and then they touch on it at the end. You know, they say that like even like the most noble orc could like succumb to its own like savagery, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So.
Right. And it shows that like Durotan's been there, right? Like even though he is, you know, more of one of the like gentle, level-headed orcs, he still has that potential.
Yep.
And it's just like super cool because you know, and you fully understand why he always has that headdress.
Yeah, that was really cool and sort of depressing, but really cool.
Yeah, that was sad.
It was like kind of chill-inducing.
Yeah.
But
like I couldn't even imagine if I was in his situation, I couldn't strip the dog of its fur. Like, holy crap. Not only its fur, but like its entire facial area and the teeth, like, don't have the balls required for that.
Yeah, what his mom said to him was like kind of rough, I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe they might have needed to go off a little bit more on, like, maybe a little bit of an epilogue before, you know, he becomes and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but it was a weird progression from all past experiences and then like one shot of him in the current and no words really about how the current, you know, is going or like how he got to be where he is, because I have no idea who Durotan is. I would like to know how he became this, you know, Lord of War, you know.
Well, no, I totally agree. And what's interesting is that he's Thrall's father.
Oh, interesting.
So there's
the more you know.
Sure,
Oh gosh.
I'm sure a lot of our listeners know that already, but you know, I think Durotan's story before Warlords is actually really interesting because, you know, he does a spoiler alert die before the end of the events of WoW.
Oh, really? I figured he was still alive, but womp.
But I mean, in Warlords he is alive,
yeah,
so it'll be
in the past.
Oh, I was gonna say, C-Lane, remember how we're talking the other show about how no character that's like currently alive is in there? Remember?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that kind of goes inside with that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. So is Thrall who took over the the Frostwolves? Or did I mishear that?
Oh, the Frostwolf clan?
Yeah. Did Thrall take over the Frostwolf clan after Durotan?
No, so basically Thrall ended up, because of what happened with Durotan, he ended up as an orphan and became a slave.
Oh, dang.
And then he became a gladiator, and ultimately, there was a whole bunch of other stuff that happened in between, but he ended up becoming the leader of the Horde war chief.
Oh, okay. See, that tells you how much I know about this game. I was Alliance anyway, so.
Yeah, we're actually thinking about doing a lore segment of the show, and kind of talking about some of this interesting stuff, like Durotan's story before Warlords of Draenor, because it's a pretty interesting tale.
Yeah, guys, let us know if that's what you want to hear.
Yep.
Get some lore exposure. Let us know if you want some of that. We're going to move right on to the boss fight. Lane has got an interesting topic we haven't really discussed very much. This will be a pretty candid fight, and we are down one.
Yeah,
so.
I really wish Ismail was here. It's kind of sad because I know you have a lot to say about this.
I'm going to try to compensate this game, guys. It's all right.
Lane, what is your beef with WoW?
All right, so this one's definitely going to be a controversial one because, I mean, it is so heavily ingrained in how WoW is now and, how you play it. But my beef is going to be Battlegrounds this week. And I played a good bit of Battlegrounds back in my day. I mean, I didn't play for very long. I played up until like 30-something like that. But I did almost exclusively do raids and Battlegrounds. And I find myself absolutely hating raids. And I don't know if it was because... Oh, dungeons, my bad. And I didn't even mean to say that. I found myself absolutely hating Battlegrounds. There we go. And I couldn't really figure out why for a while. But after I stopped playing, and as I started just watching you guys play more, I realized why I didn't like it. And it's because Battlegrounds, to me, felt like they were totally random compared to the rest of the game. WoW, in and of itself, is a game about going somewhere and doing something in a focused area and then leaving. Battlegrounds are, in essence, that, but they're in a big open area where there's tons of people with no real direction running around trying to kill each other or maybe take a flag. And I know that maybe the other game modes might have fixed this a little more, but I played almost only CTF, which I'm sure is probably the most popular one because, I don't know, I saw you guys play a lot of it back in the day. It was so incredibly, it felt unbalanced. Just playing it didn't feel rewarding because I walk out into the middle of the area, I'd look for what I need to do, and I mean, it's not really this slow. I'd walk out, find what I need to do, go for the flag, whatever. 3 seconds later, I'm on the floor, and I have no idea why. Oh, look, there's a rogue. He just destroyed my face, and I never saw him. And, I mean, it keeps going. I just walked out of my base. Mage just destroyed my face from halfway across. It was infuriating, and I think it's because, and this is not 100% true, but it's true enough that it annoys me, WoW was not balanced for Battlegrounds. I mean, it's balanced around 2v2, PvP, 1v1 PvP, and mostly the story and stuff like that, because that's what WoW is. WoW is a story-based game where you're progressing, through the story and stuff like that. I mean, that's how they do their expansions. They're all story expansions. So Battlegrounds annoyed me extremely because they just did not seem like they were well thought out enough to really add to the experience outside of, minor annoyances with all the classes, which a lot of games are guilty of, but WoW, to me, felt like it was extremely guilty of.
Okay. First thing I'm going to touch on is that it's a lot different at lower levels than maximum. It's League's difference because the biggest difference is, and this used to not be true, Battlegrounds used to be a lot more fun at lower levels. But the big difference now is that people, they have heirloom gear, they have, people have more experience, so people make lower level characters and just kind of roll around in the lower level Battlegrounds. Mm-hmm. So you have these people who don't know at all what they're doing, like Lane maybe, or maybe Lane knew somewhat of what he's doing.
A little, not much.
He hasn't been playing the game for a long time. And then you have these other guys come in that pretty much know all class abilities, probably have better items and enchants than Lane has, and know how to actually play the Battleground on top of that. So I think your experience is definitely you're in the worst case scenario of how to a Battleground.
A victim of smurfing.
Yeah, pretty much. Just if any of y'all play League of Legends, if y'all even have heard of it, it's the exact thing there. It's people smurfing essentially, and that turns a lot of people away from League also, right?
Yeah.
Because they just get wrecked all the time. But I think you're wrong about they only focus on the 1v1 and 2v2 because, I mean, Battlegrounds used to be the only thing. Like, arenas and stuff used to not be around.
I mean, I'm going to interject here. Even before that, there weren't even Battlegrounds. There just used to be World PvP.
Yeah.
Now, that's really interesting. I mean, you used to have to go out into the world and get some, like, across the sea.
But I think PvP as a whole also is meant to be kind of a more let loose type thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? It's not
like recreation.
Like WoW, most of WoW is like very organized. You have to do this, right? And then you finally get to a BG, and it's just kind of like, well, obviously there's still some goal intended,
chaos.
right?
So it's total chaos, though.
Yeah.
Maybe that's more of my issue with it, is that you're bred in WoW to be like a focused, point A to point B fighter, and then you get into Battlegrounds, and it's just like there's nothing else really like it. Because I mean, the World PvP thing, I hadn't even sort of been introduced to that when I was playing. So Battlegrounds is a totally different cat that is like ridiculously hard to even get a hold of at my level. So
I think the reason for this is not that like WoW PvP is bad. I think it's that it's not introduced very well at lower levels because it's just like not of any importance, I guess, to them.
It's just there.
Yeah,
okay.
It's just they just have it there, so like they can say they have it there more so than anything.
Okay, that's fair.
I was going to say what's interesting is that they're actually not doing a new big battleground for
Warlords of Draenor?
For Draenor. Yeah, I mean they're doing the South Shore thing, but they're not doing
they're adding like gladiator fight things, though, aren't they?
I guess so. Maybe they are, but I just know that they didn't add in a whole new kind of battleground type.
Yeah,
that's expected, and they didn't. I know they admitted that with like Tolbarad, it wasn't exactly the battleground they wanted.
Okay, so maybe they're learning a little better from the stuff.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even make sense to make more Battlegrounds because half of them are just rip-offs of old Battlegrounds, right? Battle of Gilneas is Arathi Basin. Yeah, but Twin Peaks or whatever, which is Warsong Gulch, just like with the new, skin, right?
Yeah, if anything, they should work on, visual updates for these Battlegrounds.
What I really think is that they just need to add better rewards for Battlegrounds.
Are there any loot drops or anything like that in Battlegrounds?
So, you get, honor and conquest points, right? And you can get gear, right?
Yes.
But you can't make gold or anything of that kind. And that's a real problem right now, right?
You used to be able to make a little gold.
You used to, but not anymore.
What you could do is you could remove the insignia from, a fallen enemy.
And it dropped cash. And so, but you can still remove insignias and get those things to turn into the Darkmoon Fairy. And you can sell those. But, dude, it is not, a worthwhile, venture, right?
No sustainable.
You're not going to make any gold off that compared to your repair. They just need to make it so you can earn gold off of Battlegrounds.
That seems wise to me because, what's the point of playing them other than, if for fun is good, but Destiny, a good example of this, the PvP component is just as, rewarding as the non-PvP component. You get drops, you get money, you get almost everything that's not a crafting component in there, and it's really fun to play because I feel like I'm progressing through the game there still. So WoW could probably use a system like that where you're progressing through the game and getting stuff that's beneficial as well.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. I totally think that WoW needs to totally up their game when it comes to the reward system of PvP. Because right now, a lot of times I just like PvPing, personally.
Yeah.
Right? I just like going into a battleground and smashing some faces. It's fun for me, whatever. But it's hard to sustain that because you have repair bills to pay for, and it's hard to continually enchant new gear and stuff that you get because you don't make any gold off of it. So I have to go out on my own time and go make more gold. Unlike if you do PvE, you get gold and stuff from every boss you kill, and you get gold and stuff like completing the quest or whatever you do while you're there, right? We don't have any of that in PvP.
Makes me wonder kind of how they've gotten away with 10 years of not having real rewards for that.
Well, to be fair, they do have PvP gear that you get from it.
Yeah, you do get gear.
Earn gear.
Okay. Yeah, just
gear.
You earn it by playing, and then you get it from a specific person later, I guess?
Yeah,
right.
There's a vendor, right?
Okay.
And you can earn special titles from serious PvP.
There are benefits, for sure.
Okay.
But it's hard to, I can't have, a PvP sustained life, right?
Yeah.
I have to go out and do other things.
It'd be cool if they just added something where you could make a PvP sustained character, just in general. Why not level 100, or 0 to 100, just using PvP and have cool gear from that? That'd be cool. That's just me.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of the core game design of WoW is to have all of these systems that are kind of equally, defined and developed so that players can, if they want to be a pure PvP player, they can almost do that.
Uh-huh.
and still play, but I think one of the things that PvP is great for is highlighting the conflict between the Horde and the Alliance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you're a low-level player, and you start doing Battlegrounds, I think you're like, oh my god, I really hate the Alliance, or I really hate the Horde.
Yeah.
They're so annoying.
Like,
I
swear to God, every time I see one of the Taurens, like, they always do this and that.
Right. Like, you see a Tauren warrior as an Alliance player, like, oh, okay, if he charges towards me, I'm gonna die soon. And, I mean, alternatively, if you see Draenor Paladin, you're probably gonna tuck tail and run.
I was a Draenor Paladin, but I wasn't good at it, so...
Although I think right now Hunters are kind of dominating, so...
Yeah.
Hey, guess what? They're dominating Destiny 2. Womp womp.
Everybody's getting nerfed. Don't worry.
Yeah, and they're doing a huge number, what is it, shrink right now?
Yeah,
So-
but they're shrinking stats too, so I don't know. There's a lot less CC. I'm not sure if people necessarily die any faster, but people can't get locked down as much.
I really wish... I think that's probably my biggest complaint about the WoW Battlegrounds, is as they've changed over the years, is that, before, whenever you start an encounter with an enemy, when you're fighting
Someone's going to die
player,
in the next 10 seconds.
it's a guarantee that the fight would end, pretty much. I mean, really extreme cases, you could maybe bust out at the last second with a big cooldown or whatever, but, usually it would end. But now, I mean, you can have fights that last, or duels that last forever.
Oh, I hate that. Like if I see a druid, at least as my rogue, I pretty much just like pretend they're not there, and I go for a different kind of class, because, what's the point of fighting someone that's not going to die?
That sounds like a pretty big issue.
We live with it, and it's not like a huge problem, I guess. I mean, ultimately they do die.
I mean, yeah, but it almost certainly takes more than one person, almost.
Almost.
At least as a rogue. As a rogue, it's really hard because you don't have sustained damage, and, a druid can just pop out, heal himself, go tank mode, and, soak it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little easier for a warrior to take them down, or another class.
Yeah.
But I think another part of that is just, druids they got the tail end of the stick a lot of years, and I think...
Oh, they're kind of making up for it.
They've just fallen back in favor for so long.
Yeah. Alright, well, I think we have thoroughly discussed this point.
Yeah, so I think the consensus kind of is that BGs at lower levels are bad, and maybe reward system should be better.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I wouldn't say that their PvP system is bad, though. I think that their Battlegrounds are well made, and once you play the game and understand how the Battlegrounds work, you have a better sense of, how they're meant to be played.
Okay.
And I still think they're fun recreation, and I think I've met people who enjoy a lot of the different types of Battlegrounds. I don't know if I've met anyone who actually likes Strands of the Ancients, but I know people who are, serious AB players, serious Warsong Gulch players, maybe more of those two than any, but, also Eye of the Storm players and what have you. So...
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'd like it more if I got to play with you guys in the future.
Yeah,
so,
dude. I mean, once you buy the game, get to max level and all that, dude, yeah, we're definitely going to go
for that. Yeah, totally.
Well, anyway, we're going to move right on to Tavern Talk, which is just news and rumors heard from all over. And our first topic we have is more details about the WoW 10th anniversary. So we're getting ready to launch Warlords of Draenor and celebrate 10 years of WoW, and there's a new post on Blizzard's website about that. One of the really cool things that I noticed was there's going to be a new Raid Finder quality helm, guaranteed.
What raid's that from that you're getting at?
Molten Core is getting redone for level 100 players.
Cool.
It's going to be 40 people, and you have to use LFR, so you have to get in a queue and play with 40 other people.
This is the raid, or the dungeon with Ragnaros.
Yes, this is where Rag originally
You can call it a raid.
from.
And you can call it a raid now.
Raid, I can call it a raid? Okay.
Yeah, the big ones are raids.
Oh, big ones are raids? Like 40 players raids?
Yeah.
Okay.
But going back to that helm I was talking about, it's Crown of Destruction, and they're going to have plate, leather, cloth, and mail versions. So
everyone's going to get their transmog fix.
Yeah, there's just going to be raids of people with just flaming helms.
Flaming.
And also, Rag is going to drop the Corehound chain.
And I guess other items will drop there too? Do we know that?
Yeah. There's I think you're going to be able to get just loot in general, but that Corehound chain is that new Corehound mount, so that's something to really look forward to. What's really interesting about this Molten Core raid, though, is that it's accessible only from November 21st, 1 week after Warlord's launch itself, until January 6th, 2015. So you've only got a month and a half-ish to get to level 100 and run the new Molten Core.
Should this be a goal for us to get me to run this?
Yes!
Raid?
Oh dude, you'll love it, dude. This is probably the most fun thing you'll ever do if you played with us.
I do know who Ragnaros is, so...
Yeah, it is awesome.
The first thing first thing we'd have to do is get you an actual game and buy you all the expansions.
Yeah.
So
what do you have, by the way, on your account?
I don't know. I think I might have everything up to I might have Cataclysm.
I forgot when you started playing.
I think it's
You
either
either have-
Cataclysm or Wrath.
You have one of those for sure. So you'd have to
I think-
at most you'd have to get 2 more expansions.
Yeah, I'm sure I could look it up.
Anyway, off topic. Sorry.
Yeah, but what do you all think about having only a month and a half to play this level? You have to hit level cap and then run this 40-person raid
I think
during the holiday season.
I think this is the coolest thing ever. I think that it's good that they only made it a short amount of time, because if it's just forever, then it doesn't have that draw anymore, right? This gives people encouragement to level up quick and get into doing something. It also forces people to maybe go outside their comfort zone if they only normally do outside of looking for raid or something like that, maybe.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's also going to be the first 40-man LFR as far as I know too.
Well, it's the first 40-man raid we've seen since vanilla, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's a revamp of a vanilla raid, but still.
Yeah. They should definitely do this more often, right?
Having kind of limited time content?
Yeah, they should go back, bring back Blackwing Lair, go back, bring, AQ? Ankaraji, dude? That would be the coolest place to go back for players that didn't get to play the old stuff.
That's true. I mean, they did do that with Nax, basically.
Yeah, Nax was one they did do.
True.
But, I mean, I feel like there's so much more content people didn't get to touch on. So I think they could do that with a whole bunch of different places.
There have been talks about kind of this Time Walker mode where you could play any instance that just gets automatically capped and scaled up. But I think, there's some design concerns with making sure that scales correctly. And, it's not like a one-size-fits-all shoe.
Yeah, and just, not to
Or
get it
hat.
overdone, right? You don't, want everything always available.
Right.
I guess.
Well, it might be kind of fun, right? You hit, just the roulette and you, get...
Oh, that'd be,
into
yeah.
some-
When you say it like that, it sounds cool.
I mean, because then it's, endless content,
Yeah.
in some ways. But then you'd also have to get drops. And that makes, managing the loot there is also another concern.
Anyway, go ahead, Lane.
I personally think it's cool. I think time stuff where you have to work for something, goals, just giving people legitimate time-based goals that are obtainable is cool. It's a really rewarding way to, do stuff. So I think it'll work well.
Yeah, and I like it. I mean, like I said before, I think that it is during the holiday season is a good thing. It means more people are going to be on, hopefully, when they're not spending time with their families and buying them gifts.
Yeah. An aside real quick. I just looked up my Battle.net account and it says Mist of Pandaria, so I guess they started doing Mists. I don't know.
Well, either that or one of us shelled out big.
Maybe. I have no idea. It's honestly.
So you have Mists?
I guess. I don't ever remember playing during Mists. It says I expired during 2011. Is that during Mists?
No, Mists came out in 2012.
It says product level Mist of Pandaria.
Well, good on you.
If that's the truth, that's awesome, because then you only have to buy one expansion.
Yeah, that's awesome. Maybe they just did it for me, which in that case, yay. I have no idea.
Well, the jury is out on that, and our eternal struggle to get Lane to play WoW is one step closer to fruition.
Yeah, pretty much.
You all may witness history here, so.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
And doubling back kind of on what I said earlier about no new Battlegrounds, there is a new Battleground in World of Draenor. It's a level 90 to 99 and separate 100 version of the South Shore Terran Mill Battleground.
Oh, so it's a version of one that's already out?
No, I mean, there's just 2 separate versions of this new Battleground.
Got it.
Basically, you can recapture the feeling of the early WoW PvP because people would always fight at Terran Mill.
Oh, so they're taking a place where it was world PvP popular, sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's really cool.
But this is Slayer-based, kind of, right?
It's basically a deathmatch as far as I understand.
Oh, I've been waiting for this my whole life.
So it's basically, straight from the website, unlike the old days of Terran Mill versus South Shore, there will be a clearly defined victor, so you'll need to work as a team or face crushing defeat. And if you win, you get a shiny new title.
So how many people will be playing in one Battleground, do we know?
It doesn't say, I don't see anything about that. I'm imagining it's pretty big, 50 versus 50 maybe or something, I don't know. Here's the really cool part though, if you do win, you get a new title. If you're Alliance, that's Terran Mill Terror, which is pretty cool. But if you're Horde, you get South Shore Slayer, so...
Oh, dude, all those are cool.
Yay, alliteration.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a lot of literary device right there. Yeah, I'll definitely be playing that. I remember getting pwned pretty hard in South Shore.
Yep.
I feel like I would always do PvP whenever I was leveling up, just way above me.
I remember this
Just
undead
go
rogue
for
would
it.
just camp me all day.
That happens everywhere.
I mean, it was worse back then. But
I just feel like there's always a rogue like sneaking around somewhere to backstab you.
it's funny. The more you know, guys, rogues are like the least played class right now. So even though you may think you see them all the time, they're not there at all.
It's one of those mental things.
Yep.
And I think they're actually probably a little harder to play than maybe we give them credit.
They are hard as heck to play, guys. I know this.
And at any rate, rated PvP play will begin on December 2nd.
Cool.
So the game will be out for a little bit before you actually can start rated PvP. And then the first raids will also be opening around that time, with Raid Finder and Mythic difficulty opening the week after that. So there's a full schedule of raids on the way, but basically there's going to be a little time for everyone to kind of level up as quickly as possible when the game does drop on November 13th.
Yeah, that reminds me, we need more people so we can do raids. So
that's true.
You know, if any of y'all want to hop on the PFL train and, you know, ride your way to victory, come on and join us.
That's true. We do have a guild on Emerald Dream, PFL. Feel free to visit us in-game. Our battle tags are... They'll be on this episode, too. They were on last week's episode. Yeah, we're hoping to have a lot of fun during Worlds of Draenor, so feel free to join us. I think that's pretty much all about these new details that have gotten launched. There's also a Dev Water Cooler series all about the raids, and that's on the website. Our next topic is a snippet from an interview with the Warcraft movie actors. They're saying that the movie isn't just for fans.
That's just weird.
Randall, you want to...
Warcraft movie actors.
What's really weird is that this movie was announced in 2006.
Yeah, it's been like running around the mill for a while now.
I think they just started shooting this year.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, what do you guys think about people who actually don't play WoW? Not even people like Lane who have people who force them to think about WoW, but people who don't watch WoW, would they go for this movie?
I personally don't see much of a reason to. I mean, if you're an outsider to WoW completely, and you see this, you roll up to the theater like, hey, I have something, I don't have anything to watch. What do I want to watch? You roll up to the theater, wow, it's in theaters. Do you feel compelled to go see that? Probably not. There are enough long-standing opinions about WoW that I think someone would probably either be compelled to see it enough that they may have played the game, or, you know, they know someone that's dragging them along or something like that, or they just won't. They say it's not just for fans, but I cannot see many other people seeing it without getting.
The problem is the connotation World of Warcraft has with its own name, right?
Yeah.
People hear World of Warcraft and they think like nerd, all these different words, right? And they don't want to be associated with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there was a creative decision to call the movie Warcraft rather than World of Warcraft the movie.
I didn't even realize it says Warcraft movie. Is that what is it going to be called? The Warcraft movie or what?
It's just going to be called Warcraft.
Just Warcraft, okay.
As far as I understand.
All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that what will happen is there will be some people who kind of don't know as much about WoW or maybe are a little more out of the loop, that might just see Warcraft and think, oh, this is a fantasy. Ben Schnetzer is one of the one of the actors in the show, and he says that there's a lot of character development. So
interesting. Makes you wonder who's
people
going to be developed.
Yeah, people have to break the surface though to see that character development first, though. So the character development's irrelevant if people aren't watching it. I think it's all going to depend on their marketing. And if they they need to market towards like the whole, right? So they need to make these really typecast commercials, right? The ones that everybody likes to watch, that are really action-packed and have that one dude narrating it, right?
Yeah.
That is exactly what they need to make the movie successful.
Yeah, they can drop maybe a fan service commercial or two, but those need to be
real minimal.
Targeted. Yeah, they need to be definitely.
Those honestly should just maybe be showed on their website or something.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe like on specific websites, Blizzard's website, maybe specifically on like a Wowhead, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The really big draw ones. Those are the ones they need to get out on TV and stuff like that. Blizzard has the money. I'm sure they'll figure it out.
It looks really good from what I've heard. All the actors say it's one of the most impressive sets they've been on, yada, yada, yada.
Blizzard with the money.
More on that in March 2016, folks.
Oh,
so
yes.
that's when the movie's slated to come out now. But we've got another interesting link here. Randall found this, and you want to go ahead and expand on it?
Yeah, so we're not exactly sure what it is. I think this is what it is, though, so don't quote me if I'm wrong. But for sure, we know that Moroes, and I'll explain more on Moroes in a second, but Moroes is in Warlords of Draenor. And I'm not 100% sure on this. He's in people's inns in their garrison, and he's giving quests and stuff, so I think he is a follower. I'm not sure on that, though. He may be just like an NPC that stays in your place also. Who knows? So why I'm excited about this, though, if y'all don't know who Moroes is, Moroes was a raid boss in the raid Karazhan. And what's cool about him is that he was basically like the house servant to Medivh. And Medivh is like the craziest, most powerful mage dude of all time, right? I mean, he was crazy. He could do anything and everything that he wanted to, right?
Just crazy.
He was full cray-cray. Moroes wasn't, in-game he's undead, but previously he was human, and what happened was Medivh went crazy, basically, right? Like, he went crazy because of all these things that he'd seen and with all his power that he had, and killed Medivh, and was resurrected back into Karazhan by Prince,
wow.
with an M. With an M.
Hold on.
Clickety-clickety-click. Here we go on the search train.
Malchezaar. Wow, that is a bad name.
Yeah, that was a bad name, dude. No one's gonna remember that. Prince Malchezaar. And, he's resurrected by him, and, yeah, basically becomes kind of the caretaker of Karazhan. And, I don't know, he's a really cool-looking guy. He was a really fun raid boss to fight against, really, like, had a lot of components to it with all the extra ads that you had to fight along with him. And it's really cool to see him back, and you'll get to learn more about that story thanks to him, I think, also. So, yeah.
Randall was a big fan of Moroes.
Yeah, dude, Moroes is cool, man.
That's what we got from that.
Our last topic in Tavern Talk this week is just WoW Krendor. He's got he's a machinimator, and that's WoW Krendor. I think he goes by Krendor a little more now, but he's also does a lot of Let's Play content. But his content focuses mostly on WoW, and he does these really funny, pointless top 10 videos. You know, just of all things WoW. And one of them that just popped up recently that I was looking at was top 10 pointless skies in WoW.
Oh gosh.
And on that list, you know, Silithus, Shadowmoon Valley, Howling Fjord, just to name a few. But you can check out the video on the links. It's kind of a funny video just to see that WoW's so huge that we've got videos with thousands of views just of people watching this guy.
And I will say that is a lot more funny than the explanation that was just given. You know, you've got to watch it, you know, and we're never going to be able to explain that one. So just go see it first.
I feel like I just had more of an ethnographic observation. I wasn't trying to be funny, okay?
It's like any good story, it's better if you were there.
Get there at palsforlife.net.
Or be square.
Sorry, somewhere else.
Oh.
Our next segment is called Tip of the Week, and Randall's taking this one.
Oh, yeah, Tip of the Week. Okay, so in suit with last week, I'm going to talk about another cool mount that y'all can get. Actually, two mounts. For those of you that maybe didn't play as much during Wrath of the Lich King, there's a raid called Obsidian Sanctum. And it's in Dragonflight under... I can't remember the place.
Wormrest Temple or Tower.
Wormrest Temple? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Under Wormrest Temple. And you can set it to 25 man or 10 man. And depending on which one you set it to, you'll get two different mounts. One's the 10 man is like a blackish, kind of reddish drake. And then the 25 man is like a bluish drake. Like a bluish black drake. And the 25 one looks cooler probably. So, yeah. Well, all you have to do is go there, maybe bring a couple buds. It's not too hard. You need to kill the main boss without killing the extra little drakes around. And once you do that, it'll drop him out. And have fun with that. That's pretty much all you need to do. It's really simple. I got it. Wilson didn't get it because I got it this time. There's only one drop, by the way. It's not an achievement, right? It's a drop. So when you go, if you can solo, it may be better so all of you and your friends can get it at the same time or whatever. But if you can't, you know, y'all rotate off weeks or whatever.
Yep, and that's a guaranteed drop, and all you need to do is just clear out the trash and don't kill the drakes. Don't kill the Twilight Drakes, and you'll be good. I'm sure it's a cool mount. I don't own it.
Nope.
Still going for the time lost, Proto Drake.
Yeah, that's the only mount on my mind. So, our next segment is called Trade Chat. So this is the part of the show where you get to be heard, the viewer. And I just want to go ahead and pitch our guild again. That's PFL. It's live on Emerald Dream on the Alliance side. And we've also got a PALS hotline up and running. And that's at 323-451-9693. You can give us a jingle and have your voice heard on the air. So we'd love to hear from you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Please.
We would appreciate it.
Very much.
Please.
I mean, we need it, but we don't need it. We need it. But.
We don't need you. It's okay.
But we really do.
Yep.
So at this point, we're going to close out the show. Thanks for tuning in this week. Please feel free to shoot us any questions, complaints, or tips on begging for gold in Stormwind to pals@palsforlife.net. And to listen to any of our previous episodes, check out our website. That's palsforlife.net. And of course, you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and anywhere else podcasts are found. Until next time, this has been Pals for Life.
See ya.
Yeah.
And we're done. Okay.
Malchezaar. Wow, that is a bad name.
So, it's cool.
Da, 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 da. Oh, gosh.
I remember this undead rogue would just like camp me all day.
That happens everywhere.
He's not a total jerk.
Just remember, your voice is your instrument, guys.
Can I start playing like a trumpet? Just like... I won't ever talk. I'll just act like I'm playing a trumpet.
That's your instrument.
Sounds like we're on some like weird kids show.
Yeah, don't say that. Yeah.
Popular, sort of. It's better if you were